Okay, so we have the complete picture of the abstract factory design pattern in action using the sequence diagram as well as structure right here. But I also would like to conclude this presentation by just reminding you the ideas behind abstract factory. And basically, first we talked about the responsibility of this design pattern, and the client software just has to use some kind of abstract interface. Okay, so this is an abstract interface example right here, known as abstract factory, to manufacture instances, right? To manufacture instances of specific objects. So here, each concrete factory is responsible for creating a specific type of object supply that our simulation scenario, in our case, needs. And the second requirement is that the client software in form of the simulation scenario that benefits from using the factory is restricted to abstract interface to access objects that were created, right? So this is an idea that this scenario class does not access directly any of these types of objects. It is only relying on the base class interface to access all of their functionality. So abstract factory kind of relies on plugin style concrete suppliers, right? And that's part of our demonstration right here, that we basically on demand, we say we'd like to use this type of factory or this type of factory, and this is plug-in, because we plug in new factory by basically just saying, okay, let's use this one now because our conditions have changed, and now this is the type of factory that we'd like to use to create these visitors. So this definitely is a plug-in style of using these concrete factories that we'd like to use. And so the benefits are that without the cost of any actual big cost of changes or disruptions to the client software, additional concrete suppliers can be introduced and removed. Right? So again, we kind of talked about this earlier on, that if we also would like to add to this simulation employees employees of companies that want to visit this building, or security staff that wants to be added to the simulation scenario, we can just add these new types of classes to the hierarchy of visitors. But then, of course, we also plug in new concrete factories so that upon decision on the simulation scenario progress, it may start using these as well. Right, so those are the benefits. And of course, additional kinds of object supply can be also easily introduced or removed, meaning that if we want to add even new additional types of object supply to this hierarchy, we can easily do that because we have a very clear pattern on how to do this. Basically, all requirements are in place. Just step number one, add new visitor to this hierarchy like this, then add the corresponding new factory for it, implement this factory, make sure that we provide all of the interface operations declared in the interface right here, and then somewhere inside this scenario, part of play, I would guess, implementation, just create this type of factory and call create visitors, and that's the end of the story. These visitors will be created and they will be available in this scenario. So we have a very clean idea on how to add new types of visitors in the building, because we have this mechanism called abstract factory. And the true meaning of these benefits is that when you're working on your system, this kind of benefits can be dramatically beneficial because it is like you already have a vision into the future of your project, which is quite significant. So this is an overall class diagram for a factory, abstract factory idea. So you have some sort of client that wants all sorts of products. So you decide what kind of interface these products supposed to be using. You implement your products, but the idea of the creation of specific products is shifted off the shoulders of the client. The client doesn't want to like make complicated decisions about what kind of products should be used. Instead, we provide an interface, the abstract factory interface. The client clearly knows these are the methods that are available. So before they can be called on this abstract factory interface, the only thing that client needs to do is decide to instantiate the concrete factory, like we did in our example right here and right here. And that's the only thing that client has to worry about, just simple creation of the factory class, and then go ahead and start creating whatever objects the client needs. So that's an overall structure here. I would also encourage to look at the abstract factory elevator example, which I also have part of our downloadable code. Here it's very similar to, it's just another example here, and it's very similar to what we did with abstract factory for visitors. Now this is abstract factory for elevators, and just a quick look that we also have this sequence diagram right here. You can see that here we have an elevator bank, which is basically the aggregate class for elevators. It just appears to be possible to have passenger elevators and freight elevators. And to be able to manufacture these elevators at runtime, what we do is that we have two factories, the factory for the passenger elevators and the factory for the freight elevator. So very, very similar set of ideas, and I hope that this sequence diagram kind of looks similar to what we had with our demos of creation of the visitors. So in this downloadable design pattern sample, there are two examples of abstract factory implementation, for the elevator and for the visitor in the building.